remove the envy from your eyes. Never give up, always try. With a positive attitude, you must get right.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time here in SVG, it is 7:45, and we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. And already on the line, we have Mr. Kingsley DeFreitas to provide us with his commentary for today. Kingsley, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you. My apologies for last week. I had something that I had to deal with, and nobody else can deal with it beside me, so I had to take some time off, okay?
Sure, no problem. It's no problem.
I noticed you're Lone Ranger in the studio this morning, and my other friend is at home babysitting. Wow, that's a big job.
Well, she's actually in the hospital. Her son is in the hospital. So.
Oh, she's actually down there. Oh, yeah. That's how technology so good it could be on the job and still taking care of your babies. Wow, that's nice. Yeah. And doing your job. But what I really want to talk about briefly is that security matters is important. And I noticed recently somebody lost their life at a financial institution. Because the matter is subject to case, I don't want to go into details, but I find myself with some imagination thoughts of what could have happened. And I have went to credit union already, met security officers who were quite aggressive. And when I heard that incident, I said, I hope what I experienced is not playing out in this one. So sometimes, Mr. Samuel, if we have to say what we're going to say, some people go vex with us, you know. Mm-hmm. But I am just hoping that people who are getting these jobs as security officers and who are carrying firearms, that the authority should make sure that they are well vetted before they get some license. But you must still vet them as good as possible, but because they are not trained, they get themselves in some misunderstanding, and you see what happened. He came to work, and I guess he had plans to go back home. Today, he's charged for murder and confined to a particular institution until that time. I sure he didn't decide on what took place and his unfortunate situation. So I'm just making an appeal for people involved in security. Take the job a little bit serious. Don't get as physical as what we see took place at the credit union, because all of us is at a disadvantage. People will be fearful of taking jobs like security, and then you might find somebody in the public becoming very aggressive to a security officer because they think, well, they don't have no powers of arrest, and they right to abuse them, and then you see what took place is an unfortunate incident. But because of my limitation, I'm just going to make it as short as possible, and then we're going to deal with that issue sometime in the not too distant future. So you have a wonderful day, and I know that you're capable of taking care of the affair while our friend is not there, so you have a wonderful day, okay?
All right, thanks, Kingsley. Have a good one today as well.
Where are we going, madam?
Kingsley, even wait for me to hang up the phone. All right, so that was Kingsley there with his commentary for today, and it's in just generally with regards to security guards here in SVG, and he was making the point of security guards to take their jobs seriously, but I think that there are some security guards who take their jobs way too seriously, all right? And it does have some implications. I tend to be of the opinion that sometimes some of the security guards that are at some businesses, that they can help to make or break those businesses. I remember particularly during the COVID period, the way in which some of them acted. I remember one institution, one business place in particular, and the way in which they acted, it made me not want to conduct business with the institution. But I had to remind myself that the security guard is not directly a part of that business. They were just guarding the business, and many of them, I think, they fail to realize that they too have a hand, or they too play a role in whether or not certain businesses actually do well because of the way in which they interact. Now, of course, I am not going to lump all of them together and say that we have horrible security guards, or many of them are ill-mannered, or many of them don't do their jobs properly. I'm not ever going to say that. But I do know that have come across some instances of security guards acting like they own the businesses, right? And giving me the same attitude to go along with it. So it's just something to note there for some of the security guards, and the owners or managers of certain businesses have a little bit more interaction or discussion with these guards, or even with your customers, to know how it is that they relate to certain guards, so that we would know, so that you will know how customers feel about entering your business. Okay. All right, Dianna, any thoughts?
I don't think before this incident that I knew security guards carried guns. I knew they had other things, but I don't think I knew that they carried guns. And like you said, the security guards can sometimes possibly make or break the business. But the attitude of the security guard make me wonder if that is part of their training, or what goes on in their training, or if those are the instructions they are given, if they're under heavy scrutiny and so on. Because I know we generally have this issue when we walk into a store and the store clerk starts following us around. We get annoyed and we're like, why are you behind us like this? But from my experience working in a store, those owners want you to do that. If you stand there and a customer comes in, they're going to tell you, come follow, go, go, go. Things like that. They want you to walk around. They want you to, do those things. And if you're not doing it, it's seen as if you're not doing your work, and you're just allowing the customers to do whatever they want, or so on and things like that. So it makes me wonder if that's what they're instructed to do when they're trained, if they're supposed to, follow persons around like that, if they're supposed to behave in that kind of manner. Otherwise, they're seen as if they're not doing their work. But the good thing is, we know we have some security guards who don't behave like that. Because just last week, when we were talking about this issue of the guy being shot, one of our listeners, messaged to say he's been a security for quite a number of years. And I liked him. He explained how, he's always meeting up with aggressive customers and things like that, but he knows how to handle them. He knows sometimes to just basically be the bigger person, or to calm himself, the importance of calming yourself before you go to deal with others, or even knowing how to deal with people in a proper way.
Yeah, and I think that's what it really comes down to. I don't want to believe that their training tells them that they need to be rude or they need to be aggressive. I can understand the aggression coming in. Let's say if you're dealing with an unruly customer who's absolutely just not listening to you, then I can see, them trying to do things in such a way so as they could calm the concerns of maybe the other persons around them. But I don't want to believe that being rude and aggressive is somewhere written inside of their training manual, that as and in some instances it's some person's first line of response to become rude and aggressive. And I think what many persons also don't realize is that the way in which you approach a situation can cause that situation to escalate. If you approach me in a rude and aggressive manner, chances are that I am going to also become rude and aggressive, when it didn't even have to result in all of that, So yeah, it's just something there for many security guards. For all the good security guards out there, big up y'all. We know that the work cannot possibly be easy. Vincention's not always the easiest people to have to deal with, especially when we feel like being wrong and strong. I can understand that it can be a challenge for many of you, but in many instances, do unto others as you'd like have done unto you. Maybe that is probably what the first thought that should come into play before you try to take matters into your own hands in some certain occasions. All right, so we're just going to continue with part of the discussion that we started earlier at 7:20 with regards to some playing politics with sports. All right. So as we mentioned that on Emancipation Day, not Emancipation Day, actually, the time frame for the dates for the activity, the SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival, it's July 31st to August 10th. Lord, let me start again. It is Emancipation Cricket Festival from July 31st to August 3rd. All right. The entrance fee for adults is $10. For children, it's free. It's happening at the Annisville Stadium. Its theme, I suppose, is legacy, unity, and excellence. There will be 4 teams participating with 1 winner. All right. So this is the event, or this is the activity that is happening. All right. So we have a call. Let's take the call, and then I would give my thoughts with regards to this. Hi, Queens. Good morning.
Morning.
Go ahead. Go right ahead,
Morning.
Queens. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, some people in uniform, some of them abuse their authority, whether it's security guard or police, court officer, prison officer, etc. I remember time I was in court, lined up outside to go in a courthouse, and there were some people talking in the back. Well, this court officer came and he says, you have a list of names. So if you hear your name, see me. If you don't hear your name, then don't bother me. So some people in the back, they're talking, go back there. So guys, shut up. Go back, start reading his his list. They're still talking in the back, you go back there. Didn't I tell you guys to shut up? So one of the guys said, man, don't talk to me that way. I'm not a little child. He said, you open your mouth again, you go in handcuffs. This is not a democracy. You'll do as you're told. That's one. Second, I heard this Jamaican businessman in California, I heard him say he hired an ex-Jamaican police officer in California. And he told him that they are trained to create fear in people, for people to fear them. Last example, right out of Annisville, at a cricket game one Saturday, somebody was saying something about police, and the police was there. It was probably a cricket match or something. And the police said, you can't give everybody their rights. If you give everybody rights, it's going to be chaos. So I think there's a level of somebody with a uniform and a gun or whatever. They think they're, just above. I'm not generalizing everybody, but a lot of them are like that. They're above you. All right.
All right, Queens. Thanks. All righty. So just to hop back in and very, very quickly on the discussion with regards to are we playing politics with sports? We went through the fact that there is a cricket tournament that is going to be happening. And I had some questions. So I'm phrasing it all as questions. No statements, persons. I am phrasing them as questions with regards to what this activity is all about, and particularly some of the comments or what was stated by the PM in yesterday's Issue at Hand program. All right. So first question, number 1, is how much planning went into this activity, and is it going to be ready within the next 2 weeks, right? How much participation will there be regionally and even locally? And one of the reasons why I'm raising the questions of how much participation will there be locally is that I also note that the Windward Island School Games will also be taking place from July 26th to the same August 3rd. Now, yes, while it is 2 activities can happen simultaneously, knowing that, it's the Windward Island Sporting Games, it's being hosted here. Will we have enough persons who show an interest in sports in general being able to attend these 2 activities that are happening relatively around the same time? At least they conclude on the same day. All right. So that is one of the points. How much planning went into this, and how well will it be pulled off or properly executed? Would the legends who weren't celebrated enough by CWI actually be here, and what will be done to surpass what they have already received? The PM did make mention of what was done to them was an embarrassment. He didn't think that enough was done by CWI. So my question is, in terms of the persons who will be attending, if they are indeed going to be attending, what celebration is going to be put off here by us that is going to surpass that, right? Now, the PM mentioned that it is both public funds and money that is from the National Lottery. Now, with regards to it being public funds, and there is no external source of funding, for me, the other question is this the best use of public funds? Would the dance pay for the lights? Or in this case, because if it's a cultural festival, are we saying that in this case it doesn't matter? Because I know we tend to hear the what people who know the price of everything and the value of nothing. So I am not sure if that is falling into that category, right? Now, the PM made mention to something to the effect of taking our names out of people's mouth, right? And I have to ask the question, who people, right? How many persons, let's say within the region or whoever, wherever, were disappointed with what took place or what happened to celebrate the legends or the honorees who the CWI gave some a token to 10,000 US dollars, as well as had a dinner and a dinner ceremony, right? Now, my question also is how does this fall on us as St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Why has it been seen as our duty to perform? Why is it that we feel the need, and I'm saying we, right, to feel the need to do something about this? Why isn't it then more pressure being put on CWI for them to maybe do something more significant to honor these individuals, as opposed to us, the nation, taking this on? All right. What also are going to be the expectations that the legends may have? Now, I am not saying that they should not be honored. I'm not saying that it should not be commemorated, especially the fact that many of them are still alive. But what grandiose event is going to top or surpass what the CWI has done, and what exactly can we term as going to be more befitting to celebrate these legends? All right. And my final thing is, and it's interesting because the same time the PM started to talk about it, it was the same thing that crossed my mind, the exact wording, when he says something to the effect that he was not trying to show up shallow. Now, ever since Dr. Shallow declared his hand in politics, it seems like there has always been this back and forth between the PM and Dr. Shallow, right? And part of me feels like a lot of the elections this year is going to be this back and forth between them, this constant back and forth between them. And it's very difficult for me. I'm not sure how many other individuals are out there, but it's very difficult for me to not see that politics is somehow involved in this. And yes, that the PM or whoever is going to try to show up the what was done by CWA on the part of with Dr. Shallow being the head. All right, so it is difficult for us to separate the two at this time, because I do not necessarily see this as being a Vincentian problem, a St. Vincent and the Grenadines problem to fix. If it is indeed a case where the legends feel as if they weren't honored or celebrated enough, I do not see this as something that we needed to fix. I don't see it as an embarrassment that we needed to fix. And I will end by saying that when it comes to the use of public funds, and lotto money is also included in this, I am going to wish the event all the very best, because I personally don't like to see money wasted. All right. So if it means that persons are interested in this, especially for the cricket lovers, go on out. As I said, the activity is taking place. Let me just pull that up again. From the 31st of July to August 3rd. The cricket lovers might be there in attendance, but it is difficult for me to not see that politics is being involved in this, and it is a way to show up what was already done by CWI. And with that, I suppose I'm through. All right, Dianna, any final thoughts from you?
No, I just want to endorse your message 100%, and I'm looking forward to your questions being answered. There are some wonderful questions, you know. I'm gonna be looking out more now when we're having honorary celebrations, because I expect to see our celebrations top notch. Seeing that this one where they were given 10,000 US dollars was embarrassing, you know. I'm gonna be looking forward to the celebrations that we have. I'm looking forward to more things being done. You know, we need a theater. Persons like that who fought for the culture for years have been calling for a theater. It would be great for. It's embarrassing that Peaceful is the little thing we have compared to what is in the region. To be honest, when I go to those places, I feel bad that this is what we have when they have to come and see this little dressing room that we call a theater. You know, a forensics lab would be nice. Um, Yeah, some honoring, some proper honoring for some of our cultural legends would be nice as well. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we are products of the education revolution, right? So we must ask questions. And with that, we are going to end this segment. Our time here in SVG, it is 8:05, and our time check came through the compliments of the New Haven Funeral Home.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life,